The business owner says he was never told this was going to be a political event, and now he's using his time and story to tell other businesses to watch out as election season heats up.
This man, on the day that he came here, couldn't even show up to the barbershop that in Atlanta. Couldn't even show up to that barbershop in Atlanta where them black folks were sitting at a round table at the barbershop. And he, if you can even, I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, David, but I need you to grab that clip because I need you to see what this is the city that y'all, this is the same city that Governor Kemp literally has been attacking black folks for. This is the city that's responsible, right, for the mugshot, for him being held accountable for what he did here during the elections, what he did to those poll workers. Remember this? Y'all forgetting, but this is the same city, and they done had a barbershop, Trojan barbershop, black barbershop, had a man in overalls to represent the working farming black. They had the two men in suits, right? You know how it is when you get to Atlanta. I ain't got to say much about that. And then you had the two extras on the side, the everyday black man. One was the owner, I believe, of the barbershop, and the other one. And they sat there. Donald Trump said, I can't come in that establishment. Oh, hell no. That man called in. He's in the city now. Called in and gave them, this is a cute picture, by the way, called them and said to them people, they say I have the best mugshot. They're saying it's better than, what's his name? Elvis Presley, I hear. And, my felony record, this is how he's appealing to black folks. And this is the same man that while he was in office, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, all of these people were murdered because he pushed policing over black people. Yet they sit around here in Atlanta. And there was a few Atlanta cases as well, because Donald Trump kept pushing the power of police, the abuse of power of police, especially towards black people. Okay. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to go into that. I'm sorry I went into a soliloquy, but we're going to go into that. Let's start off. We're going to start this. We have debate clips. Thanks to our producer. But I just want y'all to know where this debate was happening. It was happening right here in my backyard, Atlanta, Georgia, where they call it the Black Mecca. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen of this encounter with the blacks, the blacks in Atlanta, and Donald Trump.
But since this has happened, like the mugshot is the best. It just beat Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra by a lot, by the way. Beat it by a lot. But that's the number one mugshot of all time. It's really an amazing thing. Since it happened, the support among the black community and the Hispanic community has skyrocketed. It's been amazing. Really been amazing. It's been actually very nice to see.
Mr. President,
it's in one way, the truth is, it's really a lovely thing when I see that. We have great support now in the black community and in the Hispanic community.
And there to facilitate it, you have Wesley Hunt, the bald-headed brother with no neck. I guess we could be related. Then you have Byron Donalds in the middle with the red tie, and then you have Ben Carson on the right? Three henchmen for Blacks for Trump, as they sit there and let Donald Trump, and they participate in this now, make it seem like the thing that black folks care about and that we're turned on by, and that's going to motivate us, and he threw Hispanics in there, is the mugshot, right? They have run with this narrative, and it's one thing to see like white folks from MAGA do it because we expect that, but then to see black folks from MAGA embrace it and then take it to the barbershop like this is really the thing. This is really black culture. Really tells you the caliber of black men that these three dudes are not.
Black business owner says he feels betrayed and blindsided. The Trump campaign held an event at Rocky's Barbershop in Atlanta the day before the debate. But the owner says it's not what he thought he was signing up for. Why the owner is now speaking out.
The business owner says he was never told this was going to be a political event, and now he's using his time and story to tell other businesses to watch out as election season heats up.
I really take pride in my business. Mind my business, serve, give back haircuts to the community, and have good conversations. It's never been about politics.
His business, he says, has never been the site of a political event until Wednesday, when prominent Republicans packed inside the day before the highly anticipated presidential debate in Atlanta.
I hope I'm being well represented.
Former President Donald Trump even calling in at one point.
I feel like I've been betrayed.
Days before the debate, Jones says someone who he thought was a friend reached out to him about being the host site for a small black business roundtable. He says there was never any mention this was a political event. Jones adds he never heard from a Trump campaign representative either. I asked him if the timing of the event raised any flags this would be political.
I honestly didn't think about it. It was just, once you say black small business, give back to the community, it's like, okay, I'm doing it.
Jones says he feels used.
Just be aware that it is election season and the timing seems a little suspect.
That's why he's warning other business owners to have a healthy dose of skepticism.
Even though I trusted that person, I didn't really do the research I should have done, but now I'm letting everybody else know that you need to be aware of these calls.
Atlanta News First did make contact with the Trump campaign. They acknowledged our request, but they were not able to get us a response by airtime.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they threw in there like a preacher to give that effect. But neither here or there. Even when the black man tried to speak, this white man, first of all, the black barbershop, Ben, you can attest to this. The black barbershop is like a sanctuary for black men to talk about so many things, including politics. And whether they agree or disagree, it's all about the bettering of the black community.
Right.
I've sat in the black barbershop. I know that that's the conversations that surround it. The end goal for everyone is they want for black people in America to have better lives. And they usually surrounded by the conversation of black men. Mm-hmm. So, Ben, hearing this and seeing this, especially the guy with the red tie, what's his name? Didn't we just talk about him?
Byron Donalds.
Yeah. We just talked about him the other day. Actually, we did a whole special on his behind and his comments about Jim Crow.
That's right.
Jim Crow era and how it may have benefited him. Trash, garbage. But this is the representation that we have here. But Ben, when you hear that and you see that, all these black men sitting there, and what comes to mind when you hear Donald Trump, the white man, facilitating a conversation in such a space that usually, this is why we don't invite everybody into these spaces, and this is where it gets problematic. What did you see there as a black man? And I know for yourself, it's like a woman going to the nail salon and the hair salon. For a black man, seeing that space be infiltrated that way?
Yeah. I mean, notwithstanding the fact that I don't have the occasion to go to the barbershop that much.
Then they can still get you up in here. Okay, what are you?
Yeah, I do need to let them come and tackle this a little bit. I'll be honest with you. They do freshen up the beard real nicely. It shows that they. Okay, Rebecca. So there's two parts of this. There is just your standard black person we've always had Judases in our camp, right? There were people on the other side of the slave trade that were black that were facilitating black people being sold into slavery on the west coast of Africa. Just going to always be the case. And so you got to take that into account, that not all skin folk are kinfolk. They know the power of the imagery of the barbershop, but they have no clue whatsoever about how to even be comfortable in the barbershop. Like, that's what I see in this video. I see Wesley Hunt, who, when you listen to other clips, he's commenting on how well-spoken some of the brothers are in the barbershop. Strike one, man. Like, number one, we could talk however we want to talk, anywhere, but particularly in the barbershop, we communicate how we want to communicate. Number two, I'm trying to avoid and we could talk about this later, without going into the diaspora wars. Byron Donalds saying that he's Jamaican American and then coming out against reparations, that sent a red flag to me. But even more so, there's so many black MAGA folks who aren't a part of the black American experience, who are peddling this narrative. Right. And so we could talk about it, because that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
What I see in here. And so I also see black folks who will gladly sell off chunks of the black community, like that black preacher who let Trump into his pulpit or onto his platform a few weeks ago and let Trump for the same narrative. And so, yeah, like I've been in the barbershop and I've been in the barbershop with every type of black man. It doesn't matter. It could be a black man, a hotep. It could be a black Muslims, a Nation of Islam. It could be everybody's politics in the barbershop are uniquely different, but we all, one, care about the black community, two, understand the game that white folks been playing with us. And now you got these three Coon Supremes, Wesley Hunt, Byron Donalds, and Ben Carson saying, hey, let's facilitate taking the black community piece by piece and selling it off to white folks who don't mean nothing good by the black community. One last thing before I throw it back to you. Joe Biden's history with the black community is a problem, but it's not a problem that we don't know about and that we've already talked about and we've already calculated for and understand. 94 crime bill. He helped bring us Clarence Thomas and all those things. We got that, right? I also know what's happening right now today is a former president who's literally trying to do harm to the black community compared to the sitting president, Joe Biden, who was the first president to actually call out white supremacy from his acceptance speech to the inauguration to throughout his presidency. He has actively called out white supremacy, whereas we got Donald Trump, who's being elevated by white supremacy. And here we have three black men, really the only three black men they could find, right? Elected officials who would go out here and peddle the black community and say, hey, let's bring Trump into our sacred places. Let's bring Trump into our pulpits. Let's bring Trump into our barbershops because it's going to give the appearance. This is the last thing, Rebecca. They think black folks are stupid. They think black folks are going to say, oh, here's a mugshot. That's my guy. Here's Trump, black folks in the barbershop. Oh, he's one of us. Here's Donald Trump, being peddled by a black preacher. Oh, we love him now. They really think, oh, same thing with the golden shoes. Oh, he made some shoes for black folks. Oh, he's our guy now. And it's one thing to get that from white folks, especially MAGA white folks, but it's another thing to get three little ugly henchmen, black folks, doing it on behalf of white folks. And I think they really feel like they're doing something, but black folks peep them from a mile away.
Or they don't acknowledge the black women in their lives. And here's the thing. You got to look at those people and we have to disassociate. There is no way. Candace Owens, all those type of people, this Brian McDonald's, whatever his name is, the clearances of the world, they're problematic. Make sure you share, okay? You share, you like, you comment, you subscribe, okay? You guys, we need your support to keep this going, to keep these conversations going. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not. Listen, without you, wouldn't be no me. All right. Here on Like It or Not.